So I just beat Baldur's Gate Siege of Dragonspear, an expansion for the PC made by Beamdog, and I'm ready to give my review on it. So, getting straight to the point, I liked it. It has a lot of controversy surrounding it, and quite frankly, it doesn't deserve the controversy it received. The controversy, in short, is based around a character, a very minor character in the game, who is a war cleric, and apparently she identifies as a male and therefore is a transgender character. Apparently a lot of individuals are very up in arms about this, and a lot of them were hardcore Baldur's Gate, old school, die-hard fans who saw this as some sort of social justice warrior cuck values that are infringing upon their super classic sacred game that is the Baldur's Gate saga, and the game is marketed essentially kind of a canon to the whole saga storyline. And that particular really PO'd a lot of individuals, and they just blew up these message boards, forums, and reviews, user reviews with their their keyboard warrior skills, and it was blown completely out of proportion. It was utterly ridiculous. You go on Metacritic, and those user scores are way down into the red just because of this stupid controversy. It really doesn't matter. Not only that, it's a minor character. If you don't like the whole transgender thing, you don't believe transgenderism is something that should be acknowledged, and it shouldn't be in your super secret sacred game, then just don't even talk to this character. It's not even a big character. You don't even have to talk to her in any way, really. She just gives you some minor healing stuff and kind of so small services for your PC, just healing stuff, but that's about it, and you don't even necessarily need that. That's all time I'm going to devote to that little stupid controversy. That's all I'm going to give. So as to the content, the gameplay of the game, I really liked it. It worked pretty well. It can be said to be a little on the easy side, and playing through the whole game, I've never had to restart a battle sequence more than once or twice, I'd say. None of them ever gave me any trouble. They give you more than enough potions and scrolls and wands and resources and magic weapons up the wazoo to tackle literally any counter you want, and regardless of any kind of character you make, even those classes that nobody really wants to play, they make, they throw an item and a clothing or armor piece here and there that contributes that specific thing. And but it's a little on the easy side, perhaps, if you're really into a challenge. That's not a big deal. Just up the difficulty level and you got that problem fixed right then and there. As far as the story, I personally like the story. I thought it was compelling. It's not exactly the most, I guess, unique story. It still works. I liked it. It was compelling. It had some good twists and turns, especially towards the end, when you think, I'm not even going to spoil the story. If you want to know the story, just look it up on Wikipedia, look it up on YouTube, whatever. It's easy to find. But overall, I like the story. I like the conclusion. I like how it does satisfactorily bridge the gap between Baldur's Gate 1 and Baldur's Gate 2. But it's not a great game. It's not perfect. It does try to make a couple of the very minor player characters in the very first game. It tries to make them more important, but it really doesn't. Namely, a couple of these rogue women, Safana and Ski, these two rogues, or thieves if you want to call them that, they start out in the first Baldur's Gate as some, minor characters that nobody really cares about. They're very two-dimensional. And in this expansion, Siege of Dragonspear, they're still minor and unimportant characters that are two-dimensional. It doesn't do anything for them except give them some speaking lines and maybe a side quest. It seems like kind of a waste of time, and they could have just used a number of other Baldur's Gate 1 characters that probably deserve more attention than those two. I digress, though. As far as the overall quality, I liked it. It's not a must-buy. You don't have to get it. If you're not really that keen on a new Baldur's Gate experience, then it's not exactly something you have to buy. Oh, they also did get at least a couple of voice actors and actresses from the old school Baldur's Gate games from almost 20 years ago and got them back to rehash their old characters and put in their voice talent into the game. They did a really good job. Though the character that does, I'm not going to say who because of spoilers, the character, one of the voice actors that comes in, it's very obvious that he's older by a couple decades, and it shows in his voice. He's pretty old at this point. And it's really weird when you do that and then you go to the next game, the second game, and then all of a sudden his voice is way more lively, and more young, and he's got a little more spry in his voice and how more quickly he talks. It's kind of weird, maybe a little jarring, but it's not a deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination. But overall, yeah, it's not a must buy, but if you get a good sale on it for $10 or less on Steam or GOG, I would certainly recommend picking this game up. I would give it maybe a 7.5 out of 10. Decent, not that great. Worth one playthrough at least if you're into Baldur's Gate games. And that's all I got to say about that.